So why the f would we not overtake Gatorade?
In past years, we've seen some great rivalries. Messi versus Ronaldo, Lakers versus Celtics, McDonald's versus KFC. But a new rivalry has recently been born, and that is none other than Prime versus Gatorade. My name is McFoodie, and today on Food Thoughts, we uncover why Prime is Gatorade's biggest nightmare.
The fastest growing sports drink in history.
It took Gatorade nearly 60 years to get to where it's at today, and don't get me wrong, they do have a huge market share. In 2021, it was reported that their sales surpassed $6 billion US. But equally, in Prime's first year on the shelves, Logan Paul said that Prime cleared $250 million in retail sales.
$250 million in retail sales.
A huge number for a startup, especially in one of the most competitive industries out there. And while $6 billion and $250 million seem galaxies apart, they're much closer than you might think when you consider the company's age difference. And yet, despite the age difference, the two companies have the same number of Instagram followers already. It's important to not forget that Prime is barely a year old. It came after Logan Paul and KSI announced they'd be releasing the drink on an Instagram livestream back in January 2022. I'm just letting you know that Prime is just getting started, and it's definitely here to stay. For the first time in its 60-year history, Gatorade should be very, very worried about losing some of the market that they've dominated for so long. And not just losing it to another big corporation, but to two bedroom YouTubers turned businessmen with a combined social following of well over 100 million people across all socials. While Gatorade has history on its side,
Prime Energy, come to stores near you. Let's go!
Prime has invested audience on theirs. With many kids and young adults having grown up binge-watching both Logan Paul and KSI, meaning that they've got an emotional attachment to the drink without even tasting it. Since Prime's launch in 2022, the drink has seen exponential growth, and you've no doubt seen the hype that's been created around the drink, with kids and parents queuing up at the crack of dawn outside supermarkets to secure a bottle. Prime's demand is outweighing the supply. Some stores cannot keep the shelves full, leading to supply issues across major supermarkets. When do you ever see Gatorade out of stock? Many shops have even limited the amount of Prime one customer can buy at once, while others have jumped on the trend to try and make a quick buck, reselling the drink at extortionate prices.
The £100 a can.
The hype that Logan Paul and KSI create around the brand is second to none. Look at the turnout for when it launched in Australia recently.
What do we think of Tottenham? What do we think of shit? Thank you!
My point is, if Gatorade released a new flavour or variation of their drink, it would be impossible for them to get a turnout in the streets like this, because the brand simply doesn't have the emotional connection with their audience that Prime does. If Logan Paul and KSI can keep building on the hype and sort out distribution issues, then there's seriously no doubt in my mind that Gatorade's market share will be very disrupted. What makes Prime so popular is not just the drink itself, but the symbolic consumption behind the brand, which is the idea that the drink is not just a problem solver for thirst, but a symbolic representation for the lifestyle you want to be associated with. In Prime's case, it's simple. Consumers don't just want to be hydrated, they want to support their favourite influencers and be part of a growing brand with a community feel behind it. The late Virgil Abloh, who founded Off-White, spoke of clothing as being totems of identity, because it's a lifestyle that often sells a product, not the product itself. And the same can certainly be applied to Prime. It is Logan Paul and KSI selling the drink.
Let's move some products.
Not the drink selling itself through its flavour and performance benefits. That is something that Gatorade just can't offer to its consumers. There's no lifestyle behind Gatorade, no influencer, no totem of identity, it is just a drink. Recently, Prime partnered with both Arsenal Football Club and the UFC and became the first creator-led brand to run a Super Bowl commercial. Partnering with the likes of Arsenal and the UFC is a smart play. Both football and MMA have a predominantly younger audience, and Prime marketing towards this kind of demographic will do one thing and one thing only, and that is introduce a huge audience to a product early, get them invested and in turn convert them into lifelong consumers of the product. Which, if all works out, should see Prime recording better year-on-year numbers and subsequently taking more of the market away from Gatorade.
Would we not overtake Gatorade eventually?
It's clear that Logan knows Gatorade are big players in the hydration game, which means to make his product more successful than his competitors, he has to attack them directly through his marketing. And that is exactly what he did by throwing shade at Gatorade in a recent TikTok. Another smart move by Paul as he attempts to sway consumer preference away from Gatorade. And this isn't the first time Paul and Prime have beefed Gatorade. Just check out this.
That was destroying a Prime bottle every day until I commented. It was a TikTok. He said destroying a Prime bottle every day
I
until
might have
Logan
seen
Paul
this.
comments.
I might have seen this.
Until Logan Paul comments stop. Gatorade, the brand, commented don't stop, and then we responded with that's what your mom said.
So what are your thoughts on Prime hydration? Another overhyped fad fueled by an influencer? Or will Prime continue to gain market share and knock Gatorade off the top spot? Anyway, until next time, this was McFoodie on why Prime is Gatorade's biggest nightmare.